Hey guys, I hope you're doing well, and today we have a quick video on how to push Piper in Duo Showdown. So, over the last season, I was able to get Piper to rank 35, and today I just wanted to give a few tips and some tricks to how I was able to do so. So, kind of the first map that we actually pushed on was Forsaken Falls, but it actually got removed in the update, so I'm not showing any gameplay from that. But kind of the first map that is that is still around after the update is Dark Passage. Here we pushed from 1,000 to 1150, and we only really stopped our push because kind of the update hit and it switched to another map, Grassy Gorge, which we actually tilted 40 trophies on. It was like it's not a good map for Piper, and kind of if you are pushing above 1100, and even 1,000 for that matter, I would try to push only on the good maps, because you just lose way too much trophies, even if you get third. And matches are like 7 minutes matchmaking, so it's kind of time consuming if you're pushing on a map that's not really good. But here Dark Passage is energy. Dark Passage is really the only energy map that I like to play on. And this is just because it's just in a lot of circumstances energy can be pretty annoying to deal with. But here, if you are running a range comp like Piper or Sprout, you can usually push away people with energy, so that they target another team. Here we were, with energy, I was able to shoot fast enough so that I could kill the bee, and that kind of allows us to get first in that situation. This is actually our 1100 match, and above that, you actually kind of 1100 to 1200, I would say, is probably the hardest circumstance. I think 1200 you are dealing with a little bit more stress, but 1100 to 1200 is just really boring. You lose 6 if you get third, and it's just matchmaking just starts really taking its toll on you. So definitely, yeah, 1100 to 1200 took quite a few hours. I think it took 8 hours on 2 different maps, but it was worth it because we got 1250 in the end. So here, yeah, you see in both of these matches, we did have bottom advantage. On Dark Passage, it's very important to have the bottom advantage. This is just because for Piper, I shoot better facing if I'm shooting up. And if we have the top, I can't really shoot up at people, so it's a little bit harder. And especially if you get the top left spawn, you're actually facing like 2 teams right off the spawn, so it's a little bit harder. The other spawns are a bit more kind of they're a little bit more you're a lot further away from people, so it's a little bit easier to play, especially if you get the bottom. I think we actually didn't really win that many games from the bottom. We usually just camped because it was not worth it to kind of try to kill teams that had bottom advantage, especially another Piper. But this is the next map that we did have a successful push on, Riverside Ring. And here you really need to have kind of the bottom spawns as well. We got the top spawn, and you can see we also didn't get much from the top. We actually only got like 1 power up, and we were able to take out a pretty easy. I think that guy might have been lagging, but we were able to take out a pretty easy brawler or a team, but we weren't able to get his power up. Here I almost died, and like if you're down to 300 and someone's shooting at you, obviously just jump away. But here I actually kind of the top spawn. I think for the top right spawn, the one we got, you have to go down and pinch the team on the bottom spawn, the bottom right spawn, if they do go up. And also if you get the top middle spawn, that's probably the hardest spawn to play. Because if you go mid right away from the top middle spawn, you're going to get killed by a top bottom spawn who goes down, or a bottom middle, like this is a bottom middle spawn as well, but you're probably not going to be able to beat them if they do have the bottom advantage. So you have to go left. So you have to go left and take like the few boxes there. But you actually start with that Nani. This is one of the dangers with this map. You might get trapped by the poison into one of the corners, and in those circumstances, you're not going to get first or second. Like, because it's like they can literally pinch you really easily. I think there was one game where a 10 elixir kind of 10 power up team did get trapped in the corner, and they literally got third because kind of like at that point they're literally fish in a like bucket. They're so easy to kill. But here, yeah, we were able to clutch up a second. If you do get in the top spawns, I wouldn't go for first. Second is actually like really good in those scenarios because it's actually so hard to win in those spawns because you just don't get enough power-ups, and especially if you're playing Piper, you don't get the bottom advantage. But in our next match, we did get bottom advantage, and you can just see how much of a difference that makes. So although our spawn isn't that good, we are on the bottom, and kind of it makes it so that I feel other people have a harder time shooting us, but our shots are a lot more accurate. And you can kind of see here, like, they're not even going for us because they know that kind of we do have bottom advantage, so they were trying to move up, and like they were literally kind of had 2 times the amount of power-ups as us, but lost because kind of we were able to pinch them. And kind of pinching is another thing that kind of is quite situational. You obviously, if you have like 3 power-ups, you don't want to be pinching an 8 power-up team. If there's 3 teams left, you want to like you want to play in a safe way, but also kind of maybe pinch them so that you can force them to target another team. But usually if you pinch a team, they're going to target you back. So it's like you really have to know when to pinch someone and when to just kind of hide and camp for a second if you don't have enough power-ups. But here we definitely did have enough power-ups. We killed quite a few teams, and it's kind of like when you have 8 power-ups, and the other, like if you're top 2 and you have more power-ups than the other team, you can basically guarantee a win if you do have a ranged comp, because they can't really shoot you as well. I think the one brawler that we actually did have trouble with other than Sprout was Surge. And this was because this glitch that just got patched yesterday basically made it so that Surge got his 4th or his 3rd power-up like after one kind of ult, and that was kind of ridiculous. Surge's shots are pretty ridiculous at with star power. Like, it's very hard to dodge, and they can just chip you down really easily. But I think the best way to face a Surge that has his 3rd upgrade is to try to shoot from your max distance away. This might make your shots a little bit tougher to hit, but you can guarantee that the Surge won't hit you because I think his shots are around the same as Piper's. So if you can get some really good shots in kind of from max distance, you might have a chance of beating them. But it's just, yeah, Surge is pretty tough. And also I mentioned Sprout. Sprout is still pretty good. I think he's still kind of top 3 brawlers in duo showdown. Although the nerf was pretty hard hitting on Sprout, his first star power is actually still quite viable. It's just like they made it so that he literally kind of has to he has like a 5-second reload for his overgrowth, but like if you keep shooting shots, like you can still get your overgrowth in 5 seconds. I thought it worked like if you hit a shot you had to wait 5 seconds, and if you like hit another shot before this 5-second kind of timer finished, then it would have the timer would reset, but apparently that's not the case. So Sprout's actually still quite viable. You just have to learn to hit your shots a little bit better. But here actually you can see with that Invisible Leon, we were able to time the gadget kind of perfectly. And really the only way I do this is just spam my gadget, so when the Leon gets off invisibility, I can get a really quick gadget in and push him back a bit and get 3 shots in. I'm also kind of using snapping, which means that if I can hit 3 shots, I'm almost at a 4th shot, so that's quite a bit of damage. And usually, if someone's rushing and I can get the 4 shots in, then they're usually dead. But here kind of I am showing a few gameplays from the next new map, Shadow Spirits, and the only reason this map works is because of Meteor. In Meteor maps, especially if there's a few walls, The Sprout's going to carry a bit early game, but towards the end of the game, when Meteor kind of destroys all the walls and grass, then Piper can carry in a lot of these circumstances. And still, with this map, I like to get the bottom advantage. It's just a little bit easier to shoot with Piper. But here we were actually pushed quite a bit by Jean. Jean has a lot really good chip potential, and so that means that they can really easily push someone back. And Mr. P Mr. P is definitely a top 10 in Duo Showdown right now, and he also has pretty insane chipping potential and insane range too. But here I actually didn't understand why they kind of stopped pushing us, which was kind of weird. They might have been able to kill us if they were chipping us a little bit longer, but that turret kind of might have been bad, but it turned out to be okay. Like, in this situation, although we don't have the top spawn, we were pretty confident, because like I thought they were targeting each other, so we could really easily kind of pick off both teams at the end. So here they actually tried to team with us. We allowed it. I don't like teaming from the start, but if it's like a top 3 situation, I think, like, especially if you're 1200, above 1200, team can, like, this kind of small team can basically guarantee a top 2 finish, which is much better than the -6 that you might get from being too aggressive. Because it's like, if there's 3 teams left and 2 teams kind of team on one team, then it's usually hopeless. So if it comes to those situations, then you might as well be one of the teams that team, just to guarantee a top 2 finish. But in our next game, we did get bottom advantage off the start, which was pretty good. But here we're just like, the Brock was able to go down, but he was forced to go back. And I hit 2 really good shots on both of those team members, and they allowed my Sprout to get the wall advantage, and they kind of died right after that. Like, a lot of these situations, especially if you are going against a team with kind of with more or about the same range kind of capabilities as you, then you really need kind of the Sprout to kind of get behind a wall and, like, get behind a wall close to them and just shoot at them. Like, if they, like, basically in those situations, the team that kind of goes back usually wins, or the team that usually kind of can push the other team back usually wins. And here you can see why I use sniping. So here I got 2 not the best shots, but I got a really good gadget in and was able to hit 3 really good shots. Sniping just allows you to get a lot more shots in, and especially if you can get like 4 shots on someone, then they're usually dead, even if they're kind of close to you. And also you saw there that, like, I didn't really use my gadget that many times, but when I used it, it was kind of game winning against that Leon. But I honestly kind of, if someone does get close to you, I just usually use it, because this comp, if they get close to you, there's not much you can do. So you really have to use your gadget quite liberally, just so that they don't get too close to you. And you also have 3 charges, and usually if you can kill 3 people, like, if you use those charges to kill a person each, then you usually win if you can kill kind of like a third of the people in the game, basically. But here there's top 2 there's 2 more teams, and we also have bottom advantage, so it was basically a guaranteed win. I think Nani can also be quite a big problem, especially since we both got stunned. But like the way to beat Nani is you just have to know where Nani's shooting and dodge. Like, you can't try to outrange the shot because of the new Nani buff, so it's kind of annoying. And here we were almost killed. I thought we were able to survive there, so I didn't really use my ult. I could have used my ult, but it turned out that we were able to survive that. So here, like, my partner, what he's doing is he's killing the 3rd team, and I'm just holding back the other team so that they basically can't team with each other to kill us. So although they did have kind of this only 1 less kind of power up, I think kind of if you do kind of if you are running a team, like Piper's Nani, just if you can get a little bit more power ups in the final kind of 1v1, or like in the final two teams, then you're gonna win that 1v1. Just range comps just win pretty easily, especially when there's kind of an open map and you have more power ups than the other team, if you do hit your shots, obviously. So here's actually our final game to rank 35. My teammate actually got rank 35 the round before. I was left at like 1249, and we just needed to do one final round to finish our push. So kind of here I tried to get early, kind of a bit of a range advantage, but you can see I'm not moving too fast at the Brock. I could, like, if you are good at dodging, you can play a lot more aggressive, but I wasn't that confident, and especially being the last game, I was a bit kind of scared that we were going to lose. Actually, most of the games we lost was because we went too aggressive. So here, playing a bit less aggressive, it's obviously the safer option, and like you can see with that Brock, he went way a little bit too aggressive, and we were able to hit a max range kind of shot at him. Obviously, if I missed that shot, it would have been a really bad situation, and we might have actually lost that game. But here, we were able to trap that Piper, and although the Brock's going to spawn, there was basically nothing he could do. Like, we just had a lot more power-ups than him. But here, the other team, I think the other team went a bit too low, because they got kind of pinched by the other team. So we kind of knew in this circumstance that it was a guaranteed top 2 finish, and when we saw the final team, we knew it was the top, we were going to win that game. So it was a really nice game to first. This is my 7th rank 35, and maybe next season, or maybe this season, I might push Crow or someone else to rank 35, but we will see. I'll try to get another video out, and if we do hit 100 subscribers, I will be making kind of a video, kind of a tutorial to setting up Duo Showdown kind of teams, because I think the team you use, there's a few questions you have to answer when you're setting up a team to ensure that you're not wasting your time, and maybe after 1100 that you can still get past that barrier, because in a lot of comps 1100 is the barrier. Past that, you really have to set up a good comp and target the right map. So I'll talk about that if I do hit kind of 100 subscribers soon, and maybe help you a little bit more if you do try to push other brawlers to rank 35. So thank you for watching, and I hope you have a great day.